If we were to take a survey of all 7 billion people and ask everyone, what is it that you want above all else in life? Most people would respond a better relationship, or an intimate relationship, or more money, or better health, or a nicer house, or a better job, or preferably no job at all, and, a family, friendship, etc. Or some people would ask for less tangible things, knowledge of God or enlightenment. But if we were to say to these people, if you knew that your next intimate relationship would cause you misery, would you still want it? If you knew that having more money would make you miserable, would you still desire it? If you knew that enlightenment would make you miserable, would you desire it? Everyone would, of course, say no. Just from that simple fact, it should be clear to us that what we really want is not an intimate relationship, better health, more money, knowledge of God, or enlightenment. What we truly seek is the happiness we believe will be derived from them. Is there anything you can imagine desiring more than happiness? And if you can imagine anything, would you not desire that thing simply because it would make you happy? See clearly that the one thing anybody ever truly longs for is happiness. Notice also that there have been many instances in our lives when we have been happy. And each of these instances of happiness was preceded by the acquisition of an object, a substance, an activity, a relationship. When we were 5 years old, it was the trip to the sea that seemed to make us happy. When we were 10 years old, it was our winning the competition at school that made us happy. When we were a teenager, it was our first romantic relationship that made us happy. When we were in our 20s, it was our first job that made us happy. In our 30s, our first home that made us happy, etc., etc. But in each of these cases, the experience of happiness itself was always the same experience. The experience of happiness, age 10, when we won the competition at school, was exactly the same experience as the experience of happiness that we felt 20 years later when we bought our first home or got married or had our first child or whatever it was. Notice also that whatever it is that makes us happy doesn't always make us happy. It sometimes makes us miserable. If that were not the case, we would all be happily married to the first person we ever fell in love with. We all know that our particularly intimate relationship the same relationship can produce the greatest happiness and the greatest misery we have ever experienced. If the happiness was really caused by the object or the activity or the relationship, then as long as that relationship was present, happiness would be present. But simply the fact that an object, an activity, a relationship can make us happy one day and miserable the next should be all the information we need to enable us to see clearly that happiness can never be derived from an object, a substance, an activity, or a relationship. What is it that makes it seem as if objects, activities, relationships cause happiness? It is simply that we say yes to that object, activity, or relationship. If we say yes to it, we experience happiness. If we say no to it, we experience misery. The happiness has got absolutely nothing to do with the object, the activity, or the relationship. It has everything to do with what takes place in our mind and our heart.